Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We were discussing normal probability distribution in the previous class, and we solved some questions from this section that is in your book in chapter 7 in continuous probability distribution. We first covered uniform probability distribution, and then we had started normal probability distribution, and we learned few concepts of this, and we solved a few questions. Now, if you have any issue in these questions, then we can solve. Otherwise, we will move to the next section, that is finding areas under the normal curve. So if you have tried these questions, so definitely you would know that are you able to solve these questions, or there is any problem. Yes. Can you solve? May I move forward?
सर ये क्वेश्चन नंबर 12 जो है सर ये देख.
And what about question 11? Did you solve this? No?
ये दोनों सेम है.
No, sir.
They are same, but did you solve?
No,
नो
sir.
सर क्वेश्चन 12 सॉल्व नहीं
We
किया.
can.
That's not fair.
सर आपकी क्लास के बाद हमारी क्लास थी आईआर की, उसके बाद अभी सुबह सुबह क्लास थी, टाइम ही नहीं मिला.
Okay, but there were only 2 questions, so I think 5 or 10 minutes were sufficient. So, are there students from section A?
Yes, sir.
You are from section A.
Feroz Khan.
Okay. So let me quickly solve these 2 questions first, so that you may have the idea that how you have to explain the answer. Can you see?
यस सर.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Fine. Okay, this is the question. I think this is question number 11. The Kemp family has twins, Rob and Rachel. Both Rob and Rachel graduated from college 2 years ago, and each is now earning 50,000 per year. Rachel works in the retail industry, where the mean salary for executives with less than 5 years experience is $35,000, with a standard deviation of $8,000. Rob is an engineer. The mean salary for engineers with less than 5 years experience is $60,000, with a standard deviation of $5,000. Compute the Z values for both Rob and Rachel and comment on your findings. So, actually, start writing the given information in form of notations that you would use in the formula. So let me write. Both are earning 50,000 rupees. Both are earning 50,000 rupees. Rachel works in the retail industry, where the mean salary for executives with less than 5 years experience is $35,000. So Rachel, the information regarding Rachel is there first, and mean, I'm going to denote Rachel, let us say with mu1. So the average salary of Rachel is 35,000. Okay, dollars. So I'm not putting the dollar sign, but you have to put dollar sign with this. $35,000 and with a standard deviation of $8,000. So standard deviation is $8,000. Fine. This is the information regarding Rachel. And what about Rob? Let us read. The mean salary for engineers with less than, Rob is basically an engineer, and the mean salary for engineers with less than 5 years of experience is 60,000. So mean salary for engineers is $60,000. And standard deviation in this case is $5,000. Now what is required? Compute the Z values for both Rob and Rachel and comment on your findings. So basically you have to comment. This is important. So compute the Z value. So what will be Z value for Rachel first? Z1, X minus mu. So in this case, it will be X1 minus mu1 divided by standard deviation 1. So in this case, as both are earning $50,000, so therefore you will write down X1 50,000 and X2 also 50,000. So 50,000 minus mu1 is 8,000 and divide it with, sorry, mu1 is, what is mu1? Let me see. mu1 is $35,000. So write it down as $35,000. $35,000 divided by sigma 1, and that is 8,000. Right? So if you have calculator with you, you can quickly solve it. It is 50,000, not 5,000. 50,000. 15,000 divided by 800. Yes. What is the answer?
1.875.
1.875. So you can take it as 1.88. Right? You can take it as 1.88. Then come to Z2. That is Rob. 50,000 value for X2 minus what is average in this case in the industry? 60,000. 60,000 divided by standard deviation 2, that is 5,000. So the answer will be with negative sign, and that is you can
minus
solve
2.
it.
Minus 2, sir.
Minus 2. So now you have found the Z values that was required.
सर एक्स वैल्यू किधर से होगा? एक्स
Sorry?
वैल्यू
Sorry?
एक्स वैल्यू
X value is given. This 50,000 per year. Both are earning, and each is now earning 50,000 per year. So each mean both Rob and Rachel both. So this means that this is X1 and this is X2 also.
ठीक है
Right? So minus 2 and 1.88. So what this means, basically, now you have to explain. So in case of Rachel, 1.88 is with positive sign. Okay, so if you draw the normal curve, so Rachel's average salary in which the average salary in which Rachel is working for that industry, the average salary is, what is that? 50?
35. 35.
35,000
35,000. 35,000. And Mr. Rachel is 1.88 standard deviation away from mean. So 35,000 plus 1.88 standard deviation. 1. What is standard deviation? You know, 8,000. What is that? 8,000? Yes. 8,000. So these are braces, right? So this value will be here. and that value is basically given. That is 50,000. You can solve it. 1.88 multiplied by 8,000 plus 35,000, you will have 50,000. So it means that 50,000 is here at this point. At this point here it is 50,000. So if it is 50,000, then you can say that the Rachel salary is 1.88 standard deviation above the mean salary, above the average salary that is there in Rachel's company, for example. So he's earning 1.88 above the average salary. Fine. And if you see this case, the Rob case, so Rob is minus 2 standard deviation away from mean in his firm or his company.
Yes.
So if you see in the Rob's company, the average salary is 60,000.
60,000.
And he
Yes,
is
sir.
he is 2 standard deviation away from mean. Okay, so basically the Z value here is minus 2. This is Z scale. This is X scale. So in both cases, there are Z and X scales. Okay, the Z scale is also there. You can draw this line. This is Z scale. The above one is X scale. So here 1.88 is Z value that I'm using over here. Right. So you can write it down straightforwardly 1.88. Similarly, in this case, minus 2. So for minus 2, this value is there as he's earning, or Mr. Rob is earning.
5,000.
Sorry?
वो
50,000.
सर इसका स्टैंडर्ड डिवीजन
50,000. 50,000. Both are earning 50,000. Okay. So if you write it down in this way, mean minus 2 standard deviation. So this will become equal to mean is 60,000 minus 2 into standard deviation is 8,000. What is standard deviation? 5,000?
5,000.
Yes.
5,000. So the answer is 50,000. Confirmed. Fine. So you will write down or you can comment on this as Mr. Rob is earning below average. Mr. Rob is earning also he's earning 50,000, but he is you can say below. He is earning below average because average is 60,000 and he's earning 50,000. So he is below. He's earning below average. His earning is minus 2 standard deviation away from mean. Okay, so minus O to the left side. Fine. Similarly, if you see the next case, a recent article in Cincinnati Enquirer reported that the mean labor cost to repair a heat pump is $90 with a standard deviation of $22. Montes Plumbing and Heating Service completed repairs on 2 heat pumps this morning. The labor cost for the first was $75 and it was $100 for the second. Okay, so you can see that mu1 is given, sigma1 is given, mu2 is given, and sigma2 is also given. So assume the distribution of labor costs follows the normal probability distribution. So this statement is there. Fine. Compute Z values for each and comment on your findings. So you can easily find out Z1 and Z2 in this similar way. Can you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very, very easy, very easy. So now come to the next section, that is finding areas under the normal curve. Finding areas under the normal curve. So basically, if you see, let me take an example from here. Better would be if I use your book. In the first example solution described on page 218 in this section, we reported that weekly income of Uber drivers. I solved this question yesterday. We reported that weekly income of Uber drivers followed the normal distribution with a mean of $1,000 and a standard deviation of 100. This is that is mu is equal to 1,000 and sigma is equal to 100. Fine. What is the likelihood of selecting a driver whose weekly income is between 1,000 and 1,100? Okay, so 1,000 and 1,100. Okay, weekly income. What is the weekly income for that? Okay, so if you see this example, the weekly income for that is, so basically in this case, likelihood means probability. So now probability is required. Now probability is required. Let me copy this in Word. This is the question. And now write down the given information. What is mean? Mean is $1,000. Standard deviation 100.
100.
What is the likelihood of selecting a driver whose weekly income is between 1,000 and 1,100? So you will draw, sorry, thousand. Fine. Now your concentration is required. 1,100 would be to the right of 1,000. Fine. And you are interested in finding out what is the likelihood or what is the probability of selecting a driver whose weekly income is between 1,000 and 1,100. 1,000 and 1,100. So likelihood or probabilities are there under the curve. So all values that are under the normal curve are probabilities. So we are interested in finding out the probability of this area that I have shaded. Fine. We are interested in finding out the probability for this area. Earlier we were finding out the z values, but now we are interested in finding out the probability. So whose weekly income is between 1,000 and 1,100. First of all, we write it down as probability of 1,000 less than x is greater than 1,000 and less than 1,100. So this probability is basically required. So how will you find it? First of all, you would have to find out, or you can say you have to write down the z scale. Okay. So z, for z scale in the center, the value of z is 0. And you are interested in finding out that what is the value for z at this point. Fine. So how will you find that? Z will equal x minus mu. What is x? X is 1,100. And what is mu? Mu is 1,000. Fine. Divide by standard deviation. What is that? Standard deviation. What is standard deviation? 100.
100.
Divided with 100. So answer is 1. Answer is 1. So at this point, you can say that 1,100 is one standard deviation away from mean. Fine. But you are interested in finding out the probability, not z. So how will you find it? You will use the probability, sorry, z score table, where z statistics are there. Where is that table? I had copied that table over here. I think so. If I remember. Yes, this table is there. So you can see, or I can copy it down so that I get rid of this scrolling. I'm going to copy it on this page. Where is that? again, that has been is not required. We are basically in the string table. Here is table again. Come to the table. Copy this table. So z was 1. So you will see the z values from here. In the rows, there are z values. In this first row, z values. And in this first column, again, there are z values. So you will see for 1. Where is 1? This is 1. This is 1. So you will take into your account this 1 and you will move rightward and see that what will be the probability. So 1.0, and if you add 0.00 in 1, it will remain 1. It means that you will take this probability into your account. Now your attention is required. See, it is 0.3413. It is 0.3413. So you can write it down as the probability for this area is 0.34. What was that?
13.
13. So otherwise you can say that 34.13%. So this is basically required. So what is the likelihood of selecting a driver whose weekly income is between this and this? You can say that 34.1% are the chances that he will earn between 1100 and 1000 or 1000 and 1100. Fine. So in this way you will use the Z score table.
सर उसको यूज करना नहीं समझ नहीं आया सर कैसे करना है
Which table?
Z टेबल सर
Z table. I'm going to solve another question, but basically if you see, Z values are there. 0.00 is there, 0.01 is there, 0.02 is there, and so on up to 0.09. These values are there, and it starts from 00. Okay, goes down 0.00, 0.01. If you see from here, let me show you this file. Here is table. This is the table. You can see 0.0 and then 0.1, 0.1, 0.2, and it goes up to 3. So you are familiar with the concept. Let me correct this. It is not 0.00. It is 0.0. 0.0, then 0.1, and go on up to 3. Fine. So Z distribution goes up to 3 standard deviation. We know this. If you recall your memory, 1 standard deviation away, 2 standard deviation away, and at maximum 3 standard deviation away. The Z value -3 up to +3. Fine. In the center it is 0. So -1, -2, and -3. So for -1 or +1, if you see the area that is from -1 to +1, that will be 68%. And if you see the area from -2 up to +2, that will be 95%. When you will see the area under the curve from -3 up to 3, it will be 99.7%, or virtually all the area will be in this interval or in this range. Fine. So this was the idea, but basically what I want to explain, that is we calculated Z value as 1. Okay. So when you will see the table, you will come down, you will see where is 1. 1 is this 1.0. So if you write it down as 1.0 and you add in this 0, 0, so you will remain with 1.00. You will remain with 1. Fine. If it was 1.1, then you will use this value. Fine. And let's say it is 1.19. Let us say the value for Z is 1.19. So then you will take 1.1 from here. Okay. And if you add 0.09 in this, 0.09 in this, so you will put 0 over here, and you will get 1.19. So if z value is 1.19, you will take into your account 1.1, this 1.1 into your account, and you will see this 1.1 in this column, and this 0.09 in this column. Okay, so you will come over here, you will come down, and from this point you will move to this side until you have this value. So if z value is 1.19, this will be the value of likelihood, or you can say this will be the probability, 0.3800. So in the body of the table there are probabilities. These are all probabilities. Fine. So let us say there is a value 2.38. So 2.3 you will see from here, 2.38. It means 0.08 you will see from this this column, because if you see this is 0.08. So 2.38 means 2.3 from here and 8 from this. So you will move rightward until you are here. So this will be the value. If z value is, this will be the probability if z value is 2.38. So in this way you will find out the probabilities. Now it is clear?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay. So now let us have another example. So Excel can also give you the probabilities and as well as the z values. Okay. So we can also do that. So let us take into our account this example. So this example basically, let me correct it. Okay, now it is fine. The temperature of coffee sold at the Coffee Bean Cafe follows the normal probability distribution with a mean of 150 degrees. The standard deviation of this distribution is 5 degrees. What is the probability that the coffee temperature is between 150 degrees and 154 degrees? Okay, so now I'm going to draw the normal curve. What is average? Average temperature is 150 degrees. Standard deviation is 5. So you write down over here, mu is equal to 150. Sorry, is it 150? Yes, 150.
154 is, sir, 150.
No. What is average? What is average? 150 degrees with mean
Okay,
of
okay,
150
150
degrees
degrees.
and the
150
standard deviation of
degrees.
5. So standard deviation is 5. Right. So here at this point it is 150 in the center, mean. Fine. So you have to draw another scale over here. This is your X scale, this is your Z scale. For convenience, it is better to draw a Z scale also. In the center, the Z value is equal to 0. Fine. And now come to part 1. What is the probability that the coffee temperature is between 150 degrees and 154 degrees? So see, 154 will be somewhere to the right side of the 150. So let us say this is 154. Okay. So you are interested in finding out the probability for this shaded area. So how can you find it? Because this is the bounded area. Once you close it, then you are able to find out the probability. You are unable to find the probability for this area straightforwardly. Okay. We can find out the probability for this area also. But for that, what we have to do, we have to subtract the probability of this area from 0.5, because we know that this half area is 50% or 0.5, and this half area is also 0.5 or 50%. If you will subtract the probability of this area, the bounded area, from 0.5, then you can have the probability of this area. Straightforwardly, you are unable to find out the probability for this area because there is no end. Asymptotic behavior, there is no end. Okay. So what we do, we basically bound the area first, then we find out the probability, and then we subtract that probability from 0.5 to have the remaining probability. So first of all, in this case, we are interested in finding out the value for z. What will be z? Z is equal to x minus 4. What is x in this case? 154. So 154 minus 150 divided by standard deviation, that is 5. See what is the answer?
0.8, sir.
0.8. So now you can see it is 0.8. And you can also write down 0.8 over here because this is the z value. Fine. So now using this value, you are able to find out the probability. Using this value, you are able to find out the probability for this area. Fine. So for this, you have to consult the table. Come over here. See where is 0.8. This is 0.8. And if it was 0.81, then you have to see this value. Then you would write down this value or take this value as probability. But as it is only 0.8, it means 0.80. So 0.8 you will see from here and 0.0 from here. So you will take this probability into your account. 0.2881, 0.2881. So you can write down. 0.2881 is the area that is under the curve in this section, in this portion. So this area, this is the area, and you can say that also it is the probability because area under the curve is representing the probabilities. So 0.2881, or you can say that 28.81% are the chances that the coffee temperature is between 150 degrees and 154 degrees. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Then there is a question, what is the probability that the coffee temperature is more than 164 degrees? More than 164 degrees. So for that, you have to find out another z and another curve you can draw over here. In the center, it is 150. And you can see this is 164, let's say. Let's say at this point, it is 164. So now you are interested in finding out the probability for this area. You are interested in finding out the probability for this area. Okay. And you are unable to find out the probability for this area straightforwardly because there is no end. So what will you do? You will find out the probability for this area first. You will find out the probability for this area first. And then you will subtract that from 0.5 to have the probability for the remaining area. Yes. Okay. So this is x scale. Similarly, you will write down the z scale. In the center, 0 value. What will be the value for z against 164? So write down the formula, x minus mu, that is 150, divided by 5. So see what is the answer.
2.8.
2.8. So 2.8 you can write over here. So now you will check it for 2.8. What is the probability for this area? So let us find the probability for 2.8. This is 2.8. And it is 2.8 or 2.8. There is some other digit with 2.8.
No,
Simply
sir, just
2.8.
Yes.
Simply 2.8.
Yes.
That means 2.80. Okay. So 2.80 means you will take into account this value 0.4974. 0.4974. You will see it against 0.0 because it is 2.80. So 2.8 from this column and 0.00 from the first column, you will have this value 0.4974. 0.4974 is the probability or area. What is 0.49?
74.
0.4974. This is the area for this portion. Okay. And now you have to subtract this value from 0.5 to have this area because you are interested in this, not in this. So to find this area, what will you do? You will subtract this value from 0.5. So 0.5 minus 0.4974. Why are you subtracting? Because you know total area, total half area is 50% to the right hand, to the right side of the mean. And similarly to the left side of the mean, again, there is 50% area. So in total, 100% area is there. So 50%. So when you will subtract it, see what is the answer.
0.0026.
0.026. 0.026.
0026.
0.0026.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 0.26% or 0.0026. Fine. So that will be the probability, or you can say that 0.26% are the chances that the coffee temperature is exceeding 164. So how will you write it down? You know, probability of X greater than 164. So you will write it down in this way, and you will write down it as 0.0026 or 0.26%, or when if you are going to write it down in words, you will write down 0.26% are the chances that the coffee temperature will exceed 164. Right. So now these are the questions that you have to solve on your own, and if you feel any problem, you can ask me later on. You can text me in WhatsApp, or you can take the picture and you can send me. I will give my opinion. So you can solve these questions, and I think there shouldn't be any problem. Okay. So very easy, no problem. Let me solve only one out of these. Let us solve this, because this would not be there. The answer for this question will not be there in your book. So let me solve this quickly. Okay. The mean normal probability distribution is 400 pounds. It's 400 pounds. The standard deviation is 10 pounds. What is the area between 415 pounds and the mean of 400 pounds? Right? So area means you have to find out the probability. What is the area between the mean and 395 pounds? Okay. Similarly, what is the probability of selecting a value at random and discovering that it has a value of less than 395 pounds? Okay. So these the first two parts are very easy. Third part is also easy, but I'm going to solve it for you because you may get confused in this. So see, you will write down mu is equal to this, standard deviation is equal to that, and so on, and we will draw z scale and similarly x scale. Fine. And see what is the mean value. What is given? The mean of a normal distribution is 400. So you will write down 400 over here. You will write down here 400 at this point. Against this, the value of z is 0. Standard deviation is there as 10 pounds. What is the area between 415 pounds and mean of 400? So 415 would be to the right of this. Okay. So you write down over here 415, and then you will draw a line over here, and you are interested in this area. Fine. So you can do it. What is the area between the mean and the 395 pounds? So 395 pounds would be to the left side of the 400. 395 would be to the left of the mean. So now you are interested in finding out the probability for this area. Okay, so you can find it out. How will you find it? You will first find out the value for z. How? Z is equal to 395. This is your x now, minus 400.
400.
Mean divided by sigma. What is sigma? Value for sigma is
10.
10 pounds. So you will write down here 10 pounds.
Minus 1.
So what is the answer?
Minus 1.
Minus?
Minus 1.
Not minus 1.
No, sir.
Minus
395.
Minus?
0.5.
Minus 0.5.
No.
0.5.
0.5. It is 0.5.
Yes. 5.
So for 0.5, you will come over here in the table. See, where is 0.5? This is 0.5. There's no digit with this. So you will take this amount into your account. 0.1915. 0.1915.
1.5.
0.1915. 0.1915. So that 0.19, here you write down minus 0.5 and the probability for this area, is
0.19.
0.1915. Fine. 0.1915. Now come to question part 3. What is the probability of selecting a value at random and discovering that it has a value of less than 395 pounds? So now you are interested in finding out the probability for this area. Now you are interested in finding out the probability for this area. So how will you find? It is very simple. You will simply subtract 0.1915 from 0.5. So because you know half area is 50%. So 0.5 minus 0.1915. See what is the answer.
4.8085.
Sorry, point?
4.
4 point not possible. What are you doing, boy?
Wait a minute, sir.
Could probability
0.1915.
exceed 1? Probability could never
No,
exceed
sir.
1.
No, sir. 0.3085.
0.3085.
Yes, sir. That
0.3085. So this is the answer for this. Fine. So you can say that 30.85% are the chances that the value at random, selecting a value at random and discovering that it has a value of less than 395 pounds. The probability for this is 30.85% or 0.3085. Okay. Then there is another example like this. You can solve it. You can see this in the in your book. Solve it, and let me solve another example for you. Let us say this is the example that I'm going to solve now. There. Let me paste it over here. See. The question is same that we are solving over here. We were solving the similar question over here. This is the same question, but few more things are required. You can say that few parts examiner has included in this. Let us say this is the question now. Self-review 7-4 that we have solved. The temperature of coffee sold at the Coffee Bean Cafe follows the normal probability distribution with a mean of 150 degrees. So same information is there in this self-review. Standard deviation of this distribution is 5 degrees. We know this. What is the probability the coffee temperature is between 146 degrees and 156 degrees? So again, you will draw the normal distribution in this way. But now, how will you solve it? How will you solve it? See. In the center, 150. This is your Z scale. This is X scale. Okay. And you are interested in finding out the probability of coffee temperature is 146 up to 156. 146, 156. So 146 will be somewhere here and 156 will be somewhere here. So you are interested in finding out the probability of this whole area. Fine. So for this, Z scale, in the center, Z value will be 0. What is the Z value here and what is the Z value here? And then you will find out the probabilities. So first of all, you will find out the probability for this area, and then you will find out the probability for this area, and then you will add these two to have the required probability. Fine. So how will you find out this value? 156 minus 150 divided by 5. Quickly do it. It is verbal. 6 divided by 5. What is the answer? So quickly, boy. I think you have calculator with you.
1.2, sir.
1.2.
2.
1.2
Yes,
only.
Yes.
And similarly, when you will subtract, what is the answer? 4 divided by 5. 4 divided by 5.
0.8, sir.
0.8. 0.8. Fine. But with negative sign, you know.
Yes.
Because 146 minus 150, so it will become minus 4 divided by 5. So minus 4 by 5 is equal to minus 0.8. And you know, this negative sign is an indication that the value is to the left side of the mean position. So 0.8 and 1.2. So for 1.2, you have to locate the probability, and for 0.8, you have to locate the probability. So for 1.2, what is the probability? This probability for this half, this area, this portion. 1.2. 1.2. Okay. So simply 1.2 is there. So this value will be there. 0.3849. 0.3849. 0.3849. 0.3849. And for 0.80,
0.881.
0.80, you come over here. So 0.2881. 0.2881. 0.2881. 0.2881 is the probability for this. And now you will add these two to have the probability for this whole area that is required. So quickly add 0.2881 plus 0.3849. So what is the probability for this whole area?
0.673.
0.6730.
नहीं सर बस इतना ही.
0.6730. If nothing is there, then you could put 0 on your own, because you are using up to 4 decimal points. So 0.6730. Fine. So this is the required probability. And how will you write it down? You write it down in this way: probability of X less than, greater than, less than what? 146, greater than 146 and less than 156. This is the required probability. So you will write it down this, and then you will write down this answer, 0.6730. Similarly, what is the probability? The coffee temperature is more than 156 but less than 162. Okay, fine. So this is important. Okay, let me solve it. So let me solve it. See, what is the mean value in this case? Again, 150. Mean is 150. Right? And you see, the required probability is between 156 and 162. The required probability is 156 and 162. So 156, let us say, is here. 156. And 162 definitely will be to the right side of the 156. So this is 162 at this point. This is X scale. This is Z scale. Fine. At this point, value of Z is 0. At this point, the value of Z is required. At this point, it is required. So the temperature is between 156 and 162 could be find out if you have the probability for this shaded area. Fine. So this probability is required. So how will you find out this probability? Quickly, boys. Is there any class after 10?
No, sir.
No, so we could spend few more minutes to understand this concept. 156, 162. So you have to find out two z values, z1 and z2. So let us calculate z1. What is z1? Z1 is, what is z1? 156 minus, what is it? This 156? Yes, 156. 156 minus 150 divided by 5. Standard deviation was 5.
Yes, sir.
What was the standard deviation? Standard deviation was 5. So solve it.
1.2.
1.2, sir.
1.2. Fine. And what is Z2? 162 minus 150. 162 minus 150 divided by 5. Yes, boy.
2.4.
2.4.
Yes, sir.
2.4 is your Z value. So it means that this is 2, 1.2. This is 1.2 and this is 2.4. Okay. So how will you find it? See, for 1.2, when you find out the probability, that probability will be for this area. For 1.2, the probability will be for this area. So what is the probability for this area? 1.2. So I mean 1.2 means 1.20.
0.38.
0.3849. 0.3849. 0.3849 will be the probability for this area. And I'm going to write it down. Yes, Zoe, what is this? 0.3849.
49.
This is the probability for this area. Fine. Now come to this 162. For this, the Z value is 2.4. So the probability for this whole area, the probability for from this point up to this point, what is the probability? That will be, that could be found from table 2.4. 2.4 is there. This is 2.4. So as there is no digit with 4, I mean, if no digit goes 0, so 0 is there. So 2.4, and you will see this 0, 0.00. 0.4918 is the probability. 0.4918. 0.4918. So this probability for this whole area is, what is that? 0.4918? 0.4918. Now we are not interested in this probability from this point to this point. Neither we are interested in this. Okay, we are not interested in this. We are not interested in this, but we are interested in this area. That is from 156 up to 162. So how could you find it? How could you find it? If you subtract this value from this value 0.3849 from this, because 0.4918 is up to this point, this whole area. So if you subtract this area from this whole area, you will have this area. Understand?
Yes,
So
sir.
simply subtract 0.3849 from this. See what is the answer.
Answer is 0.1069.
Understand?
Yes, sir.
Understand? So in this way, you can find out all the probabilities, but you have to use your common sense. Okay, so how will you write it down in form of probability? Probability of x less than, greater than 156, and this was 162, I think. This was required. So what is this? This is this value. This value. Understand?
Yes.
And if you are interested in this value, what is the probability for this area? How will you find it out? You will subtract this value 0.4918 from 0.5 to have this. Clear?
Yes.
So in this way, you will find out the probabilities. And here, there are some questions you are suggested to solve these questions. And if you feel any problem, you can ask me later on. Because I have no time, so therefore I'm not going to solve this. But this situation also comes under the same, you can say, situation. But these are the questions where some statements are there, and you have to understand this statement. So up to this point, question number 30, this is your course. Okay, up to this question. So as there is a time shortage, I suggest you to solve it, because if you see this statement is there, I'm going to just give you some idea, because it is similar to the previous questions that I have solved. Let us say here in this case, some companies there that is manufacturing tires. So the average mileage that on average some tire covers is 67,900 miles with the standard deviation of this 2050. And this company is going to set the minimum guaranteed mileage so that no more than 4% of the tires will have to be replaced. What minimum guaranteed mileage should Leighton announce? Okay, so how will you solve it? Solve it quickly for you. So I'm going to solve this question, and the remaining questions you are required to solve. See, this is important. This is important statement that you have to concentrate upon. Leighton wants to set the minimum guaranteed mileage so that no more than 4% of the tire, no more than 4% of the tires will have to be replaced. What minimum guaranteed mileage should Leighton announce? Okay, so if you draw the normal distribution, see, what is mean? 67,900. 67,900 miles. This is your X scale. This is mean. This is Z scale. This is X scale. Okay. So now the question is, no more than 4%. Remember, total area under the curve is 100%. 100%. Okay. And this company wanna have in this case wanna have the point where no more than 4% claims are there. I mean, if some tire is going to expire before that mileage, the company will replace the tire. Otherwise, if it will exceed that particular mileage, then company will not accept the claim. So that particular mileage is required. What value of mileage would be here? But what information is there in the question is that no more than 4%. It means this 0.04 or 4%. If you divide 4 with 100, you will have 0.04. So this information is given. Point no more than 4%. No more than 4% company should announce what mileage that no more than 4% of the tires are going to be replaced. Fine. So what should be the value over here? So for this, x is required. For this, x is required. How will you find it? See, z is equal to x minus mu divided by standard deviation. So in this case, we know 0 is here, but we don't know the value for z. What is the value for z over here? Fine. Similarly, we are not having the value of x. What will be the value for x at this point? Fine. So x and z both are required. So let us first find out the value for z. So using this probability, 0.04, what will be the probability for this area? 50% minus 0.4, 0.04. So what is, because the z statistic table is giving you the probabilities for the bounded areas, not for the open end areas. So this probability will be there in the table. So what is the probability for this bounded area? 0.5 minus this 0.04. So yes, what is the answer, boy?
0.46.
0.46. 0.46 means 0.4600 because 4 decimals are there in the table. So 0.4600 is there. So you will come to the table and you will locate, because this is the probability. So you will locate this value in the body of the table. You will locate this value in this body, 0.4600. Where is that? If it is not there, then you will go for the nearest value, 0.4600, 0.464. So if you see this value, 0.4599, and this value is 0.4608. So the nearest value is this 0.4600 is nearest to this value. So you will take into account this value, 0.4599. And you will move to the right, to the left side, you will have this value, 1.7. And from this value, 0.4, where is that value? Yes, this value, 0.4599, you will move upward until you are here. So the value for z will be 1.7 plus 0.05. So you will have the value of z 1.75. 1.75 you will write over here. So definitely it will be with negative sign, 0.175. This is value of z. So once you have the value of z, now only x is there in the formula that you have to find. So simply you will transform the equation. Okay, so if you write down this equation for x, so x will equal z sigma plus mu. So z is 1.75 with negative sign, 1.75 multiplied by mu. What was mu? Sorry, what was sigma? What was sigma? 2050. 2050 miles plus mu. What is mu? Mu is 67,000. What was that? 67900. 67900. Fine. So solve it quickly, boy. What is the value for x?
71,
I
40.
think,
Sir, ये
yes, yes.
7, 1.
No, it will be negative. It will be negative. The value for x is 64312. 64312. 64312. This is the answer. You can solve it. You can check it. You have to subtract the multiple of these two from this value. So the multiple will be with negative sign. You have to subtract. Fine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the remaining questions are same. Okay. A little confusion will be there for you in this question. When you will read this question, in economic theory, a hurdle rate is the minimum return that a person requires before he or she will make an investment. So research report says that annual returns from a specific class of common equities are distributed according to a normal distribution. This information is given with a mean of 12% and a standard deviation of 18%. A stock screener would like to identify a hurdle rate such that only 1 in 20 equities is above that value, where should be the hurdle rate? Fine. So in this case, 1 in 20, 1 in 20, what this means? 1 in 20 means 1 divided by 20. 1 divided by 20. So whatever is the mean that you will write over here. Fine. And then 1 in 20 means divided. 1 divided by 20. What is the answer?
1 divided by 20 and equal to 0.05.
0.05. So it means that the probability for this area or this area is 0.05. Fine. 1 in 20 means this. And if you see the question, there is above that value. 1 in 20 is above that value. So you have to find out the value that will be at this point, above which 5% will be there. Okay. So it is same as you are going to find out as you found the X value in the previous question, you will find it out in the same way. You will first find out the probability for this area. Z is not given. So you will find out the value for Z. Okay. It is 0 in the center. You have to find out the value for Z over here. And then you will find out the probability for this area. So once this is found, as I have found in this area, if you see, once this is found, this is given in this case. So in the present case, this side is given 0.05. Okay. So similarly, when you will subtract it from 0.5, you will have some value for this area, some probability for this area, and then you will find out the probability for X. Okay. In this question. Okay. So try solving this question, and if you feel any problem in solving this, you can ask me later on. Fine. So in this way, similar to this question, because if you see this question, the left side is given, and in this question, right side is given above. So you could find it out. First of all, you will find out the Z value, then probability, and then value of X. Right. So this is all for today. Inshallah, I am confident that you would perform better in the upcoming examination. I wish you very good for the examination.
Inshallah, sir.
Good luck. Good luck.
Inshallah, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good.